Welcome to The Explainer. Look, today we're completely deconstructing what I like to call pretentious finance. Let's just be honest for a second. Traditional financial media, they absolutely love to gatekeep wealth. They throw up all this confusing jargon, these massive headache-inducing spreadsheets, and ridiculously overcomplicated macroeconomic charts just to make you think that building wealth is, only for Wall Street insiders or tech bro geniuses. Well, we are stripping all of that fluff away right now. Today, you and I are looking at the raw, stick-figure reality of building a literal wealth machine. No hype, no cheesy Instagram quotes, just the pure, unglamorous mechanics of real cash flow.
Think of our agenda today as a literal tactical blueprint to build this machine. Step 1, we tear down the pretentious finance illusion. Step 2, we see how boring businesses print money. Step 3, we map out the traffic light system. Step 4, escaping the technician cage. And finally, Step 5, building your automation conveyor belt. Let's get right to it.
Section 1. The pretentious finance illusion and tearing down the fluff. For decades, we've basically been sold a massive lie about what it actually takes to build serious leverage.
Look at the stark contrast here. On the left side, you've got the illusion, right? Everyone's trying to launch the next big crypto token, chasing viral trends and getting completely bogged down in abstract market distribution theories. But look at the anchored reality on the right. The stick-figure truth is gritty, it's simple, and honestly, it's beautifully boring. Look, poverty isn't a lack of motivation, and it's definitely not a failure to grasp high-level economic theory. Poverty is simply a lack of automated cash flow, period. Real wealth is built by solving annoying problems that people will literally pay you to avoid. It's all about predictable movement and providing necessary services.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 2, boring businesses print money, or as I like to call it, dropping assets onto the conveyor belt.
Okay, I really want you to look at this number. $1.2 million. No way, right? That is the actual annual revenue generated by one guy who started a portable toilet rental business. And he started it during a major recession when everyone else was losing their shirts in real estate. So why did it work? Well, because people don't stop going to the bathroom just because the economy is bad. Construction sites still happen. Events still happen. He built a fleet of over 400 units, operating at a massive 60% profit margin. So yeah, it's unsexy, it is literal waste management, but it prints money while everyone else is stuck trying to look busy in a corporate cubicle.
And that brings us to this beautifully boring growth curve that illustrates the exact same concept in a different industry. This is a former accountant who bought a single vending machine for a couple grand. That one machine made him $300 a month in pure profit. But here's the genius part. He realized the mechanical leverage he had. He didn't need a crazy new idea. He just needed to duplicate the asset. Fast forward, he drops 800 of these little 2D assets onto a spatial map across multiple cities, and boom, he's generating $2.3 million a year. He stocks them once a week, and they print money 24/7. Now that is a true automated pipeline.
Let's lock a few more of these plays into our blueprint. Cleaning services, they work because dirt literally does not care about the economy. Self-storage facilities. You're looking at insane 40 to 50% profit margins because you are just monetizing empty metal boxes. Laundromats provide incredibly recession-proof, recurring revenue. Parking lots. You are painting lines on flat concrete and charging for the space. And waste collection turns a highly predictable problem into predictable, contracted income. In every single one of these physical pipelines, the middleman, the person actually managing the system, is the one who becomes the millionaire.
But wait, what if you're starting with zero capital, right? Like, you can't just go buy a parking lot today. That brings us to Section 3, the traffic light system, and building predictable traffic pipelines.
Let's look at how you can actually build leverage from scratch. The traffic light system is a tactical framework that breaks down side hustles into 3 physical levels you must pass through based on your startup capital and skill level. It completely cuts out the noise of, filling out useless surveys for pennies online and forces you to focus on real skills that direct money through a pipeline.
Okay, so level 1 is the red light. You have no money and no skills. Your play here is to literally stop and look at what's in front of you. You can build theme pages on social media, curating content around luxury cars or travel, basically just moving existing organic traffic into an audience that you can monetize later with shoutouts. Level 2 is the yellow light. Still no money, but you need to slow down and learn a real skill, like designing YouTube thumbnails or creating digital products. And level 3, that's the green light. Full speed ahead. You've skilled up, you are ready to go all in, and this is where you can fundamentally change your tax bracket.
Actually, before we even hit the green light, look at what's possible in that yellow light zone. $27,000. That cash came from a simple $9 budgeting template built on Notion. A couple made it over a single weekend, locked it into an automated online storefront, and sold over 3,000 copies in a year. Think about that. They did the work once, and that digital asset just sat there on the conveyor belt, bringing in continuous money flow.
Now, dropping into the green light lane gives you access to plays that can literally generate $1,000 in a single day. Web design, social media management, freelance copywriting, these are incredibly powerful pipelines. But let's focus on the mechanics of high-ticket closing for a second. Companies out there are already selling $3,000 coaching programs or software. They run the ads, they get the leads. Your only job is to get on the phone and provide pure communication leverage. You're just connecting the prospect's problem to the product's solution. At a 10 to 20% commission, closing just 2 or 3 deals a day drops $1,000 directly into your pocket.
Moving right along to Section 4, escaping the technician cage and the E-myth reality.
Because here's the trap, right? Whether you start a cleaning business or a web agency, if you do everything yourself, you aren't building a wealth machine, you are literally slamming a heavy iron cage down on an expense trap. The crucial point is captured perfectly here by Michael Gerber. Being a great cook doesn't make you a restaurant owner. Being a great coder doesn't make you a tech CEO. If you just run your skills, you are basically an employee working inside a cage that you built yourself. If you step away for a day and the money stops, you don't own a business, you own a job.
To break out of this cage, you must physically lock new identities into place. Right now, you might be the technician, right? The doer, trapped in the daily labor of cooking or coding or cleaning. You have to evolve. You must step up and become the manager, who creates order, tracks the money, and builds the structure. And ultimately, you must reach the top level, the entrepreneur, the visionary who isn't touching the product at all, but is standing high above the maze, planning the 5-year pipeline.
Which brings us to our final phase. Section 5, the automation conveyor belt and building the freedom machine. We are going to physically build a 2D conveyor belt of systems to track the exact movement of money through an automated funnel, completely independent of your daily labor. Escaping poverty and building real wealth means adopting franchise thinking. Even if you never, ever intend to franchise your business, you have to build it like McDonald's does. It needs to run identically whether you are in the room watching it or you're sleeping on a beach. Your goal isn't perfection from your own 2 hands. Your goal is perfect duplication.
So here's exactly how you lock those physical gears into the conveyor belt. Gear 1, create systems for absolutely everything. Gear 2, write standard operating procedures, SOPs, so anyone can follow your exact steps. Gear 3, delegate without fear. Supervise the system, not the individual. Gear 4, build a team of defined roles, not just random helpers. Gear 5, automate your money system so invoices and payroll run like clockwork. Gear 6, build a strong brand so trust isn't tied to your face. And Gear 7, make the business sellable. If a business is perfectly structured to be sold, it means it can run without you.
Our source material highlighted this awesome story of a guy named Styx who almost burned out running a printing shop. He was totally trapped in that technician cage. But he took these exact gears, wrote down his SOPs, hired a manager, and automated his payments. Just 6 months later, he walked into his shop and watched his automated money system work completely on its own. He had successfully pulled the tasks off his plate and converted them into pure mechanical process.
So I'll leave you with this question. Look at whatever hustle or business you are working on right now. Are you relying on daily motivation to spin the wheels yourself? Or are you actually building physical leverage, snapping boring systems into place, and constructing a machine that runs while you sleep? Stop chasing pretentious finance. Get to work on the boring, necessary systems today. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time as we continue to break down the strategies that actually move the needle.